This is a 5-minute video of a 2-inch lift kit that I put on my 2004 Polaris Sportsman 500. Started out, reference point that I measured in the front was 26 3/4 inches. And in back, I was 34 3/4 inches. I got this kit on eBay from a place called superatv.com. Started out taking the nut and stuff off the top of the front strut. I didn't take any of the plastic off the ATV, didn't even take the front wheel off. I was able to do everything just right from underneath without pulling anything apart except taking this front strut apart. Once you get the nut off the top, jack up the ATV just enough to get it so that the strut clears the tower in the front. You've got to be careful here because if you jack it up too far and pull this strut out too far, you'll pull the axle out of the CV joint, and that wouldn't be a good thing. Take the top plastic bushing off, put on the spacer that comes in the kit, snug it down. Once you got it snugged down, put the plastic bushing back on top. And I ended up having to jack up the ATV about another inch to push it back into the tower in the top. Like I said, be real careful so you don't pull the axle out of the CV joint. Drop the jack down, make sure everything's in its place. Take the little stud that comes into the kit, screw it into the top of the spacer that installed just a second ago. Snug it down. Put the rubber bushing that goes on the top along with the metal washer, and then you can put the nut on. Snug everything down and you're done with the front. On this side, go around and do the other side, same thing. And there you have it. The fronts are all done. Now we can move around to the back. On the rear, you start out by taking the sway bar bolts out. You'll discard those, longer ones come in the kit. And then you take the shock loose from the bottom. On the rears, I did take the rear wheels off, made it a lot easier to do. Once you get the bolt out, you just take the shock, swing it up out of the way. Then you just install the brackets that come in the kit. Larger one goes on the back. I put the bolts in from the back so that the nuts are kind of protected up underneath. Do the same with the front. Snug everything down, put the rear shock back on. Use the bolt and spacer supplied by the kit for the sway bar. Put everything back together. And there you go. Measured again in the front, and now I have 28 inches in the front. Raised it about 1 1/4 inches or so. The rears, raised it up to 36 3/4. I think it might have raised it actually a little more in the front, but it was just the way of after working with the machine and stuff, it wasn't stretched out like it was when I very first started. Altogether, it took about an hour to do, and the kit cost about $70 online. So we'll try it out and see how it works.